The siege begins. The first sign of trouble came when the sun disappeared. Not completely, but the morning light that should have bathed Beijing at 700 hours was dimmed to an eerie twilight. Commander Zhao Lin stood on the observation deck of the Pacific Defense Platform, watching as massive shadows passed between Earth and its star. "Commander, we have confirmed visual on 4,827 vessels surrounding Earth," reported Lieutenant Wang from his sensor station. The young officer's voice remained steady, though his hands trembled slightly as he manipulated the holographic displays. "They've formed a perfect sphere around our planet. No gaps, no weaknesses in their formation." Zhao studied the tactical display with the calm that came from 30 years of military service. The alien ships varied in design. Some resembled crystalline structures that caught and refracted light. Others were organic-looking vessels that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and still others were angular metallic constructs bristling with obvious weapon systems. Together, they represented the combined might of the Galactic Confederation. 12 species united in their decision that humanity had become too dangerous to remain free. "Sir, incoming transmission on all frequencies," Communications Officer Liu announced. "They're broadcasting in perfect Mandarin, English, Spanish, Hindi. Every major Earth language simultaneously." "Put it through," Zhao ordered. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that stood 3 meters tall. Its skin was translucent, revealing intricate patterns of light flowing beneath like living circuits. 6 eyes arranged in pairs looked out from an elongated head, and when it spoke, its voice resonated with harmonics that seemed to bypass the ears and speak directly to the mind. "Humans of Earth," the alien began. "I am Supreme Overseer Calthan of the Valerian Imperium, speaking for the Unified Galactic Confederation. Your species has been monitored since your first radio transmissions reached our sensors. We have watched you wage war upon yourselves, poison your world, and now reach for the stars with the same violent ambitions that have marked your entire history." Zhao remained silent, knowing that response protocols required him to wait for the full message. Around him, his crew watched with expressions ranging from fear to defiance. "You have been judged," Calton continued. "In merely 200 years since your industrial revolution, you have developed nuclear weapons, biological warfare, and now you attempt to create artificial intelligence that could threaten the stability of known space. The Confederation has voted unanimously. Humanity will submit to our guidance or face complete isolation from the galaxy." The image shifted to show Earth from space, surrounded by the alien armada like a pearl trapped in an iron cage. "Our terms are simple. Dismantle your military forces. Accept Confederation observers in all government positions. Limit your technology to pre-space flight levels. You have 72 hours to comply. Any attempt to break our blockade will result in the immediate sterilization of your planet." The transmission ended, leaving the command center in absolute silence. Zhao could hear his own heartbeat steady and strong. He turned to face his crew, seeing the fear in their young faces, but also something else. A glimmer of something the aliens might not expect. "Lieutenant Wang," Zhao said calmly. "Initiate Protocol 7. Wang's eyes widened. "Sir, Protocol 7 requires authorization from the Global Defense Council, I know." Zhao pulled out a small device from his uniform pocket, pressing his thumb to its surface. It glowed green, then projected a holographic seal of Earth's United Military Command. "Authorization granted as of 3 years ago, Lieutenant. We've been preparing for this day." The confusion on his crew's faces was understandable. They were about to learn that everything they thought they knew about Earth's defense capabilities was only the surface layer of a much deeper strategy. "Liu, open a secure quantum channel to Station Whisper," Zhao commanded. "Use encryption pattern Zulu 77. "Sir, there is no Station Whisper in our database," Liu responded, fingers hovering over his console. "There is now," Zhao said, entering a code into the main command terminal. Suddenly, the tactical display transformed. What had shown Earth alone against the alien fleet now revealed something extraordinary. Hundreds of new contacts appeared throughout the solar system. Hidden installations in the asteroid belt, concealed bases on Mars's moons, and ships that had been disguised as derelict space junk or mining vessels. But that wasn't the truly shocking part. The display expanded outward, showing star systems throughout the galaxy. In each system where the Confederation species had their homeworlds, small green dots appeared. Dozens at first, then hundreds, then thousands, my God, Wang whispered. "What are those?" "Those, Lieutenant, are humans," Zhao replied. For the past 50 years, we've been sending out sleeper ships, vessels designed to look like asteroids or cosmic debris. They've been carrying volunteers, families who agreed to live in secret throughout alien space, waiting for this exact moment. Dr. Rebecca Foster entered the command center, her civilian clothes standing out among the military uniforms. She was small, unassuming, with gray hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. No one would guess she was the architect of humanity's most audacious plan. "Commander Zhao," she said with a slight smile, "I see our guests have arrived right on schedule." "Dr. Foster," Zhao nodded. "I assume Operation Reverse Garden is ready?" 3 years of preparation, Commander. 20 years of infiltration before that." She moved to the tactical display, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The Confederation made a critical error. They assumed human nature was purely destructive. They never considered that our greatest strength isn't our weapons or our technology. "What is it then?" Liu asked. Foster's smile widened. "Our ability to adapt, to blend in, to become anyone we need to be. Every one of those green dots represents a human who has been living among alien populations, learning their languages, their cultures, their weaknesses. Teachers, merchants, engineers, artists, all waiting for activation." The command center's secure communicator chimed. A message appeared on Zhao's personal display. "Operation Reverse Garden is go. All assets report ready status." Zhao turned back to his crew. "What you're about to witness has been humanity's longest con. The aliens think they've surrounded Earth, but the truth is we've already surrounded them. They came to cage the wolf, not realizing the pack had already spread throughout their territory." "Sir?" Wang interrupted. "The Valerian command ship is moving closer to Earth. They're charging what appears to be some kind of demonstration weapon." "Let them," Zhao said. "In fact, we want them to feel confident. Dr. Foster, how long until our people are in position?" Foster checked her datapad. "Another 6 hours for optimal placement. The beauty of this plan, Commander, is that most of our people don't even know they're agents. They've been living normal lives, raising families, building communities, but each one carries dormant nanites in their bloodstream, a gift from their parents or grandparents who made the original journey." She pulled up images of human settlements hidden throughout alien space. "We call them seeds. Entire communities living in the forgotten corners of alien worlds, in the places too harsh or too worthless for the Confederation to monitor. Mining colonies on planets with toxic atmospheres where humans thrived with basic breathing gear, while other species couldn't survive. Ocean settlements on water worlds where pressure would crush most alien physiology, but humans adapted with technology and determination. The Confederation sees humanity as a young, violent race," Foster continued. "They never asked the important question. How did a species with no natural armor, no claws, no exceptional strength become the dominant life form on a planet filled with predators? The answer is simple. We're the ultimate survivors. We adapt, we endure, and we prepare." A new alert flashed on the display. "Commander, detecting energy buildup in Sector 7, Wang reported. 3 Confederation vessels are targeting our communication satellites. "Standard intimidation tactic," Zhao observed. "They want to isolate us, make us feel alone. Liu, activate the quantum entanglement network." Liu's fingers flew across his console. Suddenly, the command center filled with voices, not from Earth but from humans throughout the galaxy. They spoke in dozens of languages, both human and alien. Stockholm Colony reporting from Valerian space. "We're integrated into their power grid management system. New Nairobi settlement here. We've been maintaining their atmospheric processors for 5 years. They trust us completely. This is Shanghai Trading Post in Kresnak territory. Half their food supply passes through our distribution centers. Mumbai Tech Collective embedded in Thrakari research stations. We have access to their entire scientific database." Zhao felt pride swell in his chest. While Earth's official space program had been deliberately kept primitive to avoid alarming the aliens, humanity had been playing a much longer game. Every seemingly random colonist who left Earth, every trader who decided to try their luck in alien markets, every human who married into alien communities, they were all part of an intricate web that now spanned the galaxy. "The Confederation thinks they're dealing with one planet of 8 billion humans," Foster said. "They have no idea they're actually facing nearly 50 million humans spread across their entire civilization, each one positioned exactly where we need them." The tactical display updated again, showing trade routes, power stations, communication hubs, and defensive installations throughout Confederation space. green dots clustered around each critical point. When those nanites activate, Foster explained, our people won't become super soldiers or weapons. That's not how humans win. Instead, they'll simply remember. Remember skills they didn't know they had, knowledge passed down through genetic encoding, passwords and access codes their parents memorized decades ago. In 6 hours, humanity will hold the keys to every critical system in Confederation space. And they brought their entire fleet here, Zhao added with satisfaction. Left their home defenses weakened because they believed the threat was contained to one world. The irony was perfect. The Galactic Confederation had come to put humanity in a cage, not realizing that humans had already built their own cage around the Confederation, not with bars and walls, but with patience, preparation, and the simple human ability to belong anywhere they chose to make their home. The tables turned Supreme Overseer Calthan stood on the command deck of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, watching Earth float in space like a blue marble trapped in their net. His 6 eyes reflected satisfaction as the 72-hour countdown began. The humans would surrender. They always did when faced with overwhelming force. Overseer, his tactical officer, a crystalline Chiranti, chimed in harmonious tones. We're detecting unusual quantum signatures from Earth. Their primitive attempts at communication, no doubt, Calthan dismissed. They're probably debating whether to die with honor or live with submission. But on a mining station orbiting Valerian Prime, a human named Marcus Chen was just finishing his shift. For 7 years, he'd been operating extraction equipment, earning the trust of his supervisors through dedication and skill. As he walked past a security checkpoint, the guard, a young Valerian, waved him through without scanning. They did every day. Marcus was practically family. The nanites in Marcus's blood activated so subtly he barely noticed. Just a slight warmth, a clarity of thought. Suddenly he remembered things he'd never learned. Security codes his mother had whispered to him as bedtime stories when he was 5. Technical specifications his father had taught him through games. The location of every power conduit in the station, knowledge inherited from parents who had helped design the original plans decades ago, while working as consultants for the Confederation. Similar awakenings were happening across the galaxy. In the Thrakari capital, Sarah Okonkwo, who ran a popular restaurant, suddenly recalled recipes that were more than food. They were chemical formulas, each spice and ingredient carefully chosen for its effect on Thrakari physiology. Tonight's special would include a harmless addition that would make her patrons exceptionally drowsy in exactly 3 hours. On a Kresnak military outpost, Thomas Petrov, a maintenance engineer everyone ignored, remembered that the decorative plants he'd been growing for years in the station's air recycling system were actually genetically modified organisms. With a simple chemical trigger, they would release spores that would cause no permanent harm but would temporarily overwhelm Kresnak's sensory organs, effectively blinding the entire station for hours. Back on Earth, Commander Zhao watched as status reports flooded in. Phase 1 complete, Dr. Foster announced. All dormant agents have been activated. Phase 2 initiating now. Commander, Lieutenant Wang called out urgently. The Confederation fleet is moving into attack formation. They're not waiting for the deadline. Through the view screen, they could see the alien vessels arranging themselves into complex geometric patterns, their weapon systems glowing with barely contained energy. Supreme Overseer Calthan is hailing us, Liu reported. Put him through. Calthan's translucent form appeared on the screen, his 6 eyes now glowing with anger. Humans, we have detected your pathetic attempts at resistance. Quantum communications cannot save you. You have 1 hour to surrender or we begin orbital bombardment. Zhao stood slowly, his hands clasped behind his back. Supreme Overseer, I believe you should check with your home systems before making any threats. What nonsense is this? Calthan scoffed. Our worlds are secure. Our fleets. He paused, his eyes flickering as he received an urgent communication. Then another. And another. On Valerian Prime, every power station had simultaneously switched to maintenance mode. The technicians trying to restore them found the systems locked behind passwords that hadn't existed an hour ago. The backup generators, maintained for decades by helpful human contractors, failed to activate. On Thrakari worlds, the entire planetary defense network reported massive sensor ghosts, thousands of non-existent ships appearing and disappearing, making it impossible to distinguish real threats from illusions. The software patch that caused it had been inserted 3 years ago by a human programmer who'd found a minor bug and offered to fix it for free. The Kresnak military found their communication networks flooded with billions of copies of something humans called cat videos, making coordinated response impossible. Their attempts to purge the system only spread it further, as the virus had been designed by humans who understood that the key to defeating any system was not to destroy it, but to make it destroy itself. "What have you done?" Calthon demanded, his harmonic voice now discordant with panic. "We've done nothing aggressive," Zhao replied calmly. "No weapons fired, no lives lost. Your systems are simply experiencing technical difficulties. All of them. At the same time. What are the odds?" Foster stepped forward. "You want to know the beautiful irony, Overseer? Every one of these system failures was made possible by your own people. You trust humans to do your menial work, to fix your machines, to grow your food, to teach your children. You see us as primitive, harmless, useful. You never considered that we were learning everything about you." The tactical display in Earth's command center showed chaos spreading throughout Confederation space. Not violent chaos, humans hadn't fired a single weapon. Instead, it was the chaos of civilization suddenly losing all the invisible systems that kept it running. Transportation networks ground to halt as human traffic controllers walked off the job. Food distribution collapsed as human-operated warehouses locked their doors. Even the Confederation's mighty fleet found themselves struggling, as the human contractors who supplied their food, maintained their life support systems, and cleaned their waste processing units simply stopped working. "You're monsters," Calthon gasped. "You're holding billions hostage." "No," Zhao corrected. "We're holding billions accountable. Your Confederation came here to threaten our world, our children, our future. You expected us to bow to your superiority. But superiority isn't about having the biggest ships or the most advanced weapons. It's about understanding that every system, no matter how powerful, depends on its smallest components." A new figure appeared on the screen beside Zhao, a human woman broadcasting from inside Confederation space. "Overseer Calthon, I'm Director Maria Santos of the Human Expatriate Council. I'm speaking to you from your own capital city. For 20 years, humans have been your neighbors, your workers, your friends. We've raised our children alongside yours. We've celebrated your festivals, learned your languages, embraced your cultures." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We don't want war. We want recognition. Humanity isn't asking to conquer the galaxy. We're asking to be part of it as equals. Your fleet has 1 hour to begin withdrawal from Earth space, or every human in Confederation territory will continue their strike. No violence, no destruction. We'll simply stop helping you function." Calthon's form flickered as multiple urgent communications demanded his attention. His fleet commanders were reporting mounting problems. Several ships had already lost life support as their human maintenance crews had sealed themselves in secured sections. Others found their navigation systems locked behind encryption that would take years to break. "You planned this," the Overseer said, his voice barely a whisper. "For how long?" "Since the day you first contacted Earth," Foster admitted. "We knew this moment would come. You see, humans have a saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Now, we hoped for peaceful coexistence, but we prepared for exactly this scenario." The real genius of the human plan became clear as reports continued flooding in. Humans hadn't just infiltrated Confederation systems, they'd made themselves indispensable. Every alien species had gradually allowed humans to take over the jobs they considered beneath them. Waste management, basic maintenance, food service, child care. All the invisible labor that kept civilization running. "Your own arrogance defeated you," Zhao said. "You were so focused on our military potential that you never noticed we were winning a different kind of war. We didn't invade your worlds with soldiers. We invaded them with families. We didn't conquer your cities with weapons. We conquered them with kindness, hard work, and reliability." On the screen, Calthon received another urgent message. The Sharanti representative was demanding immediate withdrawal. Their crystalline bodies were beginning to cloud without proper atmospheric maintenance. The Thrakari were reporting mass confusion as their entire population struggled with the mysterious drowsiness affecting their leadership. The Kresnak military was in complete disarray. their warriors stumbling blind through their own stations. But here's the most important part, Director Santos continued. The moment your fleet leaves Earth space and acknowledges humanity as an equal member of the galactic community, everything returns to normal. Your systems restore, your workers return, your civilization continues. We don't want to destroy you. We want to join you. Calthan's 6 eyes focused on Zhao. You would trust us to honor such an agreement? No, Zhao admitted. Which is why 50 million humans will remain in your space, integrated into every level of your society, not as spies or saboteurs, but as guarantee. You can't threaten Earth without threatening the humans who keep your worlds running. We're not your enemies, Overseer. We're your neighbors. The question is, do you want cooperative neighbors or resistant ones? The bridge of the Eternal Dominion fell silent except for the constant stream of crisis reports. Calthan found himself in an impossible position. His fleet could destroy Earth, but in doing so, they would doom their own civilizations to collapse. Humans hadn't just surrounded Earth's enemies. They'd woven themselves into the very fabric of galactic society. I need to consult with the Confederation Council, Calthan said finally. You have 45 minutes, Zhao replied. After that, Director Santos will implement Phase 3. Which is? Santos smiled. You don't want to know, but I'll give you a hint. Did you know human children have been teaching alien children games for the past 20 years? Hide and seek, tag, red light, green light. Harmless games that teach very specific skills. Skills like hiding, chasing, and freezing in place on command. Imagine if every child in Confederation space suddenly decided to play the ultimate game of hide and seek. The threat was clear. Humans hadn't just infiltrated adult society, they'd become part of the next generation's childhood. Alien children trusted their human playmates, their human teachers, their human caretakers. The chaos that would ensue if millions of children suddenly disappeared into hiding places only their human friends knew about would bring Confederation society to its knees without a single act of violence. You're insane, Calthan whispered. No, Zhao corrected. We're human. We survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and disasters that would have destroyed most species. We didn't do it through strength or technology. We did it through cooperation, adaptation, and the willingness to do whatever it takes to protect our children's future. The same traits you fear in us are the ones that could make us your greatest allies. The countdown continued. 30 minutes, 20, 10. Finally, with just 5 minutes remaining, Calthan spoke. The Confederation Council has voted. We acknowledge humanity's position. Our fleet will withdraw, and formal diplomatic channels will be established to negotiate humanity's membership in the Confederation. The command center erupted in cheers, but Zhao remained focused. A wise decision, Overseer. Director Santos, please implement the restoration protocols. Across the galaxy, systems began coming back online. Human workers returned to their posts, offering apologetic smiles and explaining they'd had a misunderstanding with management that had now been resolved. Within hours, Confederation space was functioning normally again, though with a new awareness of just how much they depended on the species they'd tried to cage. As the alien fleet began its withdrawal from Earth space, Foster turned to Zhao. Do you think they'll honor the agreement? They don't have a choice, Zhao replied. We've shown them that humanity isn't just on Earth anymore. We're everywhere. We're their mechanics, their farmers, their teachers, their friends. You can't declare war on someone who's already inside your house, raising your children and cooking your dinner. The great gamble had paid off. Humanity had won not through superior firepower or technology, but through the most human trait of all, the ability to belong anywhere, to make any place home, and to become so integral to a community that removing them would be like cutting out one's own heart. As the last alien ship disappeared from Earth's visual range, a new chapter in human history began, not as conquerors or subjects, but as the galaxy's most unlikely success story, the species that defeated an armada not with weapons, but with patience, integration, and the simple truth that every civilization, no matter how advanced, runs on the labor of those willing to do the work others won't. The galaxy had tried to trap Earth, But humanity had already surrounded them with something far more powerful than any fleet: the invisible bonds of interdependence that connected every world, every species, and every life in the vast tapestry of galactic civilization. And at the center of it all were humans, no longer isolated on one blue world but spread throughout the stars like seeds on the wind, ready to grow wherever they landed.